Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everybody, and good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're listening to or listening from. It is my pleasure to come to you guys and present to you the 53rd installment of Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols. I will be your host this evening, and as always, it is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Happy Saturday, everybody. We've got a lot to get into. I can't wait to bring you this information, but off the bat, I would just love to send a huge, monumental shout out to our veterans out there. You guys, I served the United States Army for a split second before being discharged due to injury, so I understand, a good amount of what these guys go through, and I understand the process that it takes to be able to defend this country. I love my family, I love my friends, I love you guys out there, and that was my primary reason and driving force behind joining the United States military, along with a lot of other people. United States military is one of the greatest organizations on the planet, and I really appreciate everything that, the vets have done for us all the way back from 1776 through World Wars 1 and 2 and even till now with what's going on in the world today. So shout out to United States military personnel and all the veterans who served out there. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the show this evening. Now then, that we've got that out the way, I would also love to send a quick shout out to my alma mater, my Tampa Bay Titans. For those of you who do not know, obviously I reside in Tampa, Florida, and I went to high school at Tampa Bay Technical High School. My apologies, guys. And during the time, I did play a little bit of football there myself, so I've always had a soft spot for my team. So shout out to the Titans as they were able to beat the Fletcher Senators by a whopping 51-34 ball game. My Titans came out swinging. I'm very proud of them and what they were able to accomplish, and I would love to see them continue their dominance as we head into our arch nemesis, Armwood. Alright, so Armwood, if you're out there listening, guys, I'm sorry, but we're coming. We need some payback for earlier this season, and hopefully the Titans are able to come and bring a W back to the city of Tampa as we continue to move on in our march for a state championship, which would be our first in our high school's history. So, congratulations to the Titans one more time. Love you guys. Keep pushing. Keep doing what you're doing. Now then, that we've got those two things out of the way, let us dive into what's going on in the world of the NFL, guys. And by NFL, you know what that means. We're going to go ahead and cover what's going on with Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers. This is a little bit depressing to talk about right now. I've probably mentioned to you guys this many times in the past, but I would love to get on here and talk about how happy I am that the team is performing well and, our coaching staff is doing a phenomenal job. Okay, that's not the case. None of that's the case, so let's cut that short immediately, guys. You guys know I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I imagine that's why you guys are here to hear about what's going on in the world of sports here in football. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to be realistic about what I see. Obviously, I have faith in my teams, but I also have watched a lot of football, and I understand the flow and the scope of the game. And from a pro standpoint, when you're playing as bad as Tampa Bay's been playing over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to be honest with you, your season's over. Okay, and that's the point behind what's going on here with Tampa Bay. Now, before we get into why the season's over, let's just address what's going on tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow the Buccaneers, the 3-5 Buccaneers, are going to be playing at Tennessee. They're going to be playing the Titans, not the Tampa Bay Titans, the Tennessee Titans. All right, that team is also 3-5, but they've won 2 in a row behind a good performances by Will Levis, a guy who seems to be coming into his own as a young rookie quarterback, especially over these last 2 games that he's gotten to start. That game will take place tomorrow at 1 p.m., so get ready for that game, guys. If you are looking to watch Tampa Bay, if you're looking to laugh at Tampa Bay, that is, this would be a good game to watch, as we just played a rookie quarterback, guys, and yeah, sure, he was the best rookie quarterback in the draft class, but his numbers don't do anything to help Tampa Bay, especially knowing that Houston's in a rebuild. And for Houston to come out and do what they did to us, I'm going to just give you a few stats real quick. CJ Stroud, he threw for 475 yards and 5 touchdowns against a Tampa Bay defense, okay? So, for reference, the last time a rookie quarterback did that to us, I think was never. Okay? So, just take that in consideration, you guys, that I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers to pieces. But when you start playing like that against rookie quarterbacks, a rookie quarterback, not a 2-3 year vet, not a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson or even Brock Purdy, okay? When this happens, there's a real long look in the mirror that takes place. You really have to decide whether you're folding or you're going to rebound, my apologies. I don't know if Tampa Bay can rebound. I think Tampa Bay's ego was shattered last week in giving up a touchdown, giving up a 70-yard drive and possession that took 40 seconds for a rookie quarterback. So let's talk about that for a second. A rookie quarterback against a defense who held the Chiefs to no touchdowns and 9 points scored a few years back in the Super Bowl, gave up 475 yards, 5 touchdowns, including a 70-yard drive, a 70-yard go-ahead drive to win the game, go-ahead touchdown to win the game against a rookie quarterback in his 7th start. A moment of silence for Tampa Bay's season, guys, because our season is over, okay? And I'm not saying this because I don't have faith, because I don't believe. I'm saying this because I live in the real world, okay? And obviously in the real world, anything can happen any given Sunday, right? Obviously. But when you're the other team, excuse me, my apologies. When you're the other team on that any given Sunday bit, things don't usually go well for you. I imagine that Tampa Bay, while our soul may be intact, our will may be broken. And I guess this is just what we're paying for our Super Bowl run and our time with Tom Brady. Now, is it worth it? Absolutely. Would I take it back? No. Still hurts, okay, guys? It still hurts to watch. It's still painful to watch, okay? And like I said, to start the show, I would love to get on here and talk about how well the team's doing, but they're not doing well at all. So it's really time for Tampa Bay to take a look in the mirror and really determine what we want for our future. And there are a few critical points that I'm going to go over, but first I want to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow, all right? I believe that odds are the Titans are probably going to win this game. I believe the Buccaneers have some injuries that they're dealing with. Carlton Davis was horrendous, okay? He was absolutely horrendous. Carlton Davis looked like Chris Conte last week, okay? Just like Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal and Carlton Davis, I'm not sure what they're doing on Tampa Bay team right now. I don't know what these guys are getting paid for, because I watched Carlton in college. He never looked that bad in Auburn. Okay, got burned for 3 touchdowns last week. The week before that, it was Ryan Neal. The week before that, it was also Ryan Neal. Okay, there's going to be some serious ramifications for this Tampa Bay defense if they can't get it together, especially with Todd Bowles being a defensive-minded coach. Now, I've gone on to say this many times, all right? The Buccaneers have a good team, okay, on paper, right? Great receiving core, decent quarterback, decent running back, best offensive line single man in the country, in the nation, as far as the NFL is concerned. All right, defense, pretty good front four. All right, linebackers, 2 really good ones. Well, 1 really good one who needs to step it up. But the secondary, oh my gosh, you take away Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, I don't know who these fools are. All right. Like, I'm very disappointed in a Tampa Bay defense, especially when Tampa's known for defense, right? There's one thing Tampa Bay's been known for since its creation, 76, would be defense, okay? We don't have that right now, guys. We don't have defense right now. And it's paining me to say this, but defense is atrocious, okay? Speaking of atrocious defenses, a defense that's not atrocious is San Francisco 49ers. You know, there's a full circle thing here as we get ready to head into the San Francisco 49ers having one of the best defenses in the league. It's the same team that Todd Bowles used to play for back when he was a player, okay? Late 80s, early 1990s, Todd Bowles was a safety for the 49ers, if I remember correctly, okay? A Super Bowl winning safety with the 49ers. So this is a really embarrassing thing, especially as we get ready to slide into this San Francisco 49ers game that's going to take place Sunday, November 19th, 4:05 p.m. Now, they made this a late game. I think they just want to see Tampa Bay get their get their ass kicked, guys. Excuse my French, but that's clearly what the objective here is today. I'm very disappointed to note that that may be the case, but the 49ers look to extend their 3-game win streak over Tampa Bay right now. So far in the last 2 games, they've been able to beat us, and I believe that obviously Tampa Bay has no chance at all against this 49ers team, especially with that defensive line and linebacking core that the 49ers boast. I believe this game is going to be the same way it was last year. It's going to be an absolute washing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's also 35-3 or 7, whatever it was last year at halftime. You could mercy rule Tampa Bay in this game. For reference, guys, I followed the 49ers just as long as I followed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's my second favorite team in the NFL. So it will be hurting me to watch the 49ers destroy the Buccaneers, but at least it's the 49ers and not the Saints or the Falcons or Carolina. Ugh. Also, by the way, if you guys didn't know, we still have to play the Saints a second time, the Falcons a second time, and Carolina twice. Now, Carolina's the worst team in the league, but what does that mean when you're giving up 475 to a rookie and 5 touchdowns? So, I'm going to stop harping on that for a second. I just want you guys to really understand where I'm coming from with the frustration of how it feels to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan right now. I believe that Tampa Bay can get it together. I mean, we started the season off pretty strong, but we're going to have to find that back. And if we can't, like I said, rest in peace to the season. And it's going to be really tough sledding, after we play the Titans. We have, like I said, the 49ers, and after that we have the Colts, who we have not done well against historically. I don't know how many times we've beaten the Colts, but I can tell you we've lost more times than we've beaten, in large part due to Peyton Manning. So it is what it is. Regardless of all that, guys, let's go ahead and continue to move on to these critical thoughts for Tampa Bay. Look, it's very simple. If Tampa Bay wants to win this game, they're going to have to apply pressure with their front four. They're going to have to stop Derrick Henry. We haven't been very good at stopping the run. Well, we haven't been really good at stopping anything, okay? Buccaneers look terrible on both sides of the ball, but make no mistake about it, it's not Baker Mayfield's fault. I see a lot of people with their opinion on Baker, okay? Baker's playing like old Baker in Oklahoma. He's extending plays. He's, going for the extra mile for Tampa Bay at quarterback, running the ball, converting when he needs to. Yeah, he's been a little hesitant. I blame that on Dave Canellis, which is another pivotal point here. I believe that this coaching staff is terrible, okay? I believe that once Bruce Arians left Tampa Bay, this team literally began to just sink to the ocean floor. Like, our ship is literally just sinking before our eyes, okay? Todd Bowles does not have a backbone or offensive mind to think for himself. I think he relies too much on the quality of his offensive coordinator with the lack of offense, and that is ultimately making his defense play. The inability for the offense to score and sustain long drives is the reason why the defense looks terrible, because they're always tired, and it seems like every week there's an injury somewhere. Not to mention Antoine Winfield Jr. is Defensive Player of the Year right now, but you can't really see that because everybody else around him is playing terribly because they're tired all the time. If this team wants to win, this offensive line needs to figure it out immediately, like 2 weeks ago, okay? They need to block better in the pass game and in the run game, specifically in the run game, so we can get Rachaad White going, who's a tremendous running back, okay? But make no mistake about it. If you take Tristan Wirfs off this offensive line, and aside from Luke Goedeke, this is arguably the worst offensive line in football, okay? Defense has the opportunity, okay, but they're not playing like they have the opportunity. And like I said, they get tired way too fast. I don't really care if the offense isn't scoring, because in 0-2 we had an offense that struggled. But our defense was so good, that it didn't matter how long they were on the field, because everybody knew their jobs, they got to their landmarks, and they played quality defense. Something that we're not doing here, all right, in 2023. All right, so that's what's going on there with Tampa Bay, guys. Like I said, that's what needs to be fixed. I believe that if we lose this game against the Titans, that it's to the bottom of the NFL again, and we tank. We let some people walk at the end of the season. Chief among them will be Todd Bowles. I feel like even if the Bucs have a successful ending to this year, that Todd Bowles or Dave Canellis will have to go. Personally, I am not falling in love with Dave Canellis at all. His offense play calling is absolutely terrible. His desire to run the ball in times where they absolutely need to pass has just been an absolute anemia for Tampa Bay. And Todd Bowles, again, without the lack of a backbone, and also finishing the first half without taking a single timeout, is a very, very bad sign of leadership. Okay? And, I agree, the Titans aren't the best team, but when you're dealing with like Will Levis and this rookie quarterback who you have pretty much no tape on, and Tampa Bay has just been struggling against rookie quarterbacks recently, because look at last year, look at Brock Purdy going up 35-7 at halftime against Tampa Bay when we had a relatively healthy team, okay? It's one of those things where I understand that Titans may be bad, but Tampa Bay just may be worse. All right, that's what's going on with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys. I've spent a few minutes harping on that just because of how heartbreaking it is, and let's just face it, the other two teams in Florida aren't playing that bad. So let's go ahead and get into that stuff, guys. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the best team in Florida right now. Jacksonville Jaguars arrived this week at a 6-2 record, and they will be playing the San Francisco 49ers with a 5-3 record tomorrow at 1 p.m. Guys, this is game of the week, okay? This is going to be game of the week. Brock is struggling a little bit, and Jags are on fire. All right, these guys are on absolute fire. They're Ghost Rider. Okay, just look at the Jags as Ghost Rider. Trevor Lawrence, Ghost Rider. ETM, Ghost Rider. Like, these guys are they are looking good. I am so proud of Duval, guys. Jags, keep it up. 5-game win streak, or 5-game heading into a possible 6-game win streak could possibly turn every belief that people had about this team before the season around completely. Jacksonville Jaguars beat the San Francisco 49ers this week. I would put them down as arguably the second best team in the league right now. Okay? Now, I believe the best team in the league right now are the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is absolutely a stud muffin right now, and I did say stud muffin because that's what he is. Okay? The guy's an absolute baller. Now, we knew this. For those of you and those of us who watch college football, when we saw Lamar Jackson at Louisville, we knew this guy was going to be special. It was obvious. Okay? Now, maybe the people who want to give their draft grades, the same people who gave Tom Brady bad draft grades, are going to sit there and say, oh, no, he wasn't that bad. But listen, if you're watching pro football right now, there's no better team than the Ravens right now, okay? In my humble opinion, there's no better team, okay? And when I look at who comes after that, it's a toss-up, right? It's really a toss-up. There are a few teams that are playing really good football. Chief among them, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, arriving to this game against the Niners at 6-2, they've got a lot of confidence, all right? And having some confidence against a team like the 49ers is going to be key, because that's usually when the 49ers lose, and when they're playing against a team with continuity and confidence. And that's what the Jaguars are bringing to the table right now. Now, the winners of 5 straight, the Jacksonville Jaguars just got off of a 20-10 victory, was it? I believe it was, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars for beating the Steelers in that game. But following this game against the 49ers, it gets a little bit easier for them as the Titans continue their march through Florida, I should say, as they will be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars there, in the next game. So that's going to be a decent game for Jacksonville fans to watch. Obviously, we're going to get a chance, I think, in my opinion, to see the full flurry of what Jacksonville is able to do against the Titans and against the 49ers. I'm going to say they beat the 49ers. I'm going to say they beat the 49ers with a score of 27-19. I'm not saying that because I don't think the 49ers can't score. I'm saying that because, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on fire. There's a lot of continuity there on both sides of the ball, and I think Brock Purdy is definitely struggling, and if he continues to struggle this week, the Jacksonville Jaguars will take advantage of that, especially with a veteran head coach the way they have. And this is a team that is on the up and up. So I look forward to seeing what takes place in this game. Like I said, game of the week, guys. If you're looking for a good game to watch coming out of Florida, look no further than the Jacksonville Jaguars. San Francisco 49ers. Again, that game takes place tomorrow, 1 p.m. The following game against the Titans, that'll be Sunday, November 19th, 1 p.m. as well. So early start times for those games. Critical thoughts for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Second best team in the league, guys. All right, second best team in the AFC. A lot of continuity on both sides of the ball. Those receivers look like they were paid good money and that they're actually showing up the way we expected them to, or felt like that they could do. And obviously Trevor Lawrence is showing exactly what I said a few years back, that the kid, all he needs is a little bit of time to adjust from college to the NFL, and he'll be a baller. Go Jags. Duval, stand up. So proud of you guys. Continue the good work. Now, the Fins, on the other hand, all right, are on a bye week. Okay, so the Fins, they have been like a back and forth kind of team, and I'm going to say a back and forth kind of team as in of recent memory. Okay, the Fins are a lot better than what their record says. They, in fact, could very well be, oh my God, Trevor. Or, not Trevor, but Travis Jordan. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also watching the Knowles game, the Knowles-Miami game. I'll give you an update on that in a second. But the Fins are better than 6-3. The problem is they're not playing like it as in recent memory, okay? So, case in point, they lost a close game. I think it was 21-14 game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been struggling this year as well. And Miami, no doubt, has more firepower than the Chiefs. So, it begs the question, what's going on? And I'll tell you what's going on. Defense, okay? Defense is struggling right now, all right? And I agree, they're not a Super Bowl team. Miami is what would be a good way to describe Miami this year? They're the team that's going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be out in the first round. Okay, it almost doesn't matter who they play. All right, they play against any other decent team, and I mean just decent. Like it doesn't. I'm not talking Ravens or Jags. I'm talking about they could play. Let me give you a team. They could play Buffalo. They could play Buffalo. Buffalo's going to get them out of there. Okay, there's no way that I'm expecting the Fins to make the playoffs and play against any decent team or better team like I said, the Ravens, Jags, or any team like that, and they win. I don't see it happening. So that's my opinion. They're going to be one and done. They will make the playoffs, but they'll be one and done. With that being said, Miami, there's a lot of struggling. There's a lot of discipline issues there in Miami, and with the defense not playing as well as they could play. Now, don't get me wrong, they play decent, but I think they play decent because the offense has been, good one drive, anemic the next. They'll go 80 yards, score a touchdown, and then they'll be bad for 2 drives, and they'll go 80 more yards and score a field goal. And so the defense is getting time to rest, right? But then you have back-to-back drives where they go 3 and out, and you're like, all right, well, there's no rest for the defense, and the defense gives up a big play. That's what happened in the Chiefs game. That's what's happened so far in the 3 losses that they have on the season. And the games that they've won against teams that, well, let's just be honest, they're not really that good, right? So, a little division win here and there is cool, but it's a division win. You expect division teams to beat each other. That's just how it goes. That's the name of the game, right? But when you talk about these games outside of the division, when you talk about being bad teams, that's kind of what Miami has been living on this season. So that 6-3 record may very well turn around, and it might be closer to a 10-7. If the Dolphins D doesn't improve and stay consistent and stay injury free, okay, they're, like I said, one and done regardless of how well the offense plays, regardless of how well Tyreek Hill plays. This is just the fact of how the NFL works, guys, and we've been doing this for a long time. You guys know what I'm saying is true. It is what it is. That's what's going on with Miami. Miami's next game, like I said, this week is a bye week, will be Sunday, November 19th at 1 p.m. against the Raiders. They are hosting the Raiders, so they're getting the home field advantage there. The Raiders aren't exactly playing great football right now, much to the chagrin of a lot of my friends and family out there in San Francisco, or not San Francisco, but in California. I'm a San Francisco guy. I like the Chargers as well, but the Raiders, I don't have anything against the Raiders, but let's just be honest, it's been a struggle for them in recent memory, right? Like, so, Derek Carr leaves right after Devontae Adams get there, and you just get this feeling of a broken relationship. Like, just a couple that's been together for 10 years, and they hate each other. You know what I'm saying? No kids, but they hate each other. And you're asking yourself, all right, well, can this get any worse? And then you have your one of your best defensive stars get let go from the team because of issues off the field, and Jimmy Garoppolo was just not the answer. We all know that before the season started that Jimmy G wasn't going to be the answer, and I remember when the Raiders signed him, I said, guys, that wasn't the guy. That was not the guy for the Raiders. He is so injury prone. It's a personal guarantee to anybody that I know that Jimmy G will get injured some point before the end of the season. And if your backup isn't Joshua Dobbs, right, you're sitting there with your hands in the air like, all right, so what do we do? What do we do? And so, I think the Raiders had a lot more opportunity to be a better team this year than what they've, been given. But with all the issues that they faced this year, I feel bad for the Raiders. It's unfortunate, and I think Miami will be able to take advantage of that. I think Miami runs away with this one, probably a good 34-17 ball game in Miami's favor, just because of the offense that they do possess. And I think that if the offense stays on the field long enough, that it'll give the defense time to rest against a very depleted and very frustrated. I mean, we all saw Devontae Adams last week. We were all doing the same thing. Devontae Adams is arguably the best receiver in the last 7-8 years to play. Now, he was good when he came out in the draft, but let's talk about what he was able to do with Aaron Rodgers in the latter part of that Green Bay Packers tenure that he had there. And now look what he's experiencing here with the Raiders. It's heartbreaking to see this happen. So Miami, like I said, 34-17 ball game win, I think, for you guys. Returning to a victory form would be nice for them. Improving to 7-3 would be good for them. We'll see what happens, though, guys. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the evening, guys. I know we've been harping for a good 25 minutes straight, but there was a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about, guys. So when I get back, we'll go ahead and get into some NCAA action as far as college football is concerned. We'll start to cover a little bit more college basketball as the season progresses a little bit more, too, because there's already been a bunch of upsets. I know LSU lost. The Gators lost to Virginia in that game. So I'll talk about that probably next week, guys, and then we'll carry on as we go through there. We'll talk some more NBA. We'll talk a little bit of hockey, and then we'll wrap it up with what's going on here at UFC 295 tonight, and go from there, you guys. So again, my name is Corey Pujols. I am your host for Palm Tree Sports Radio, which is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Keep it locked here, guys. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols. I am your host, and as always, this is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Guys, Florida State has just extended the lead to 27-13 over their rival Miami. It's fourth-ranked Florida State, so you knew they were going to start to put it together at some point in time. But before we dive into what's going on there, actually, not before that, let's talk this game first. The Gators don't play till 7:30, I think it's 7:30 tonight. Guys, Florida State's arriving in this game ranked 4th in the country, last team in the college football final standing so far with a 9-0 record right now, pretty dominating over there in the ACC, just kind of what you expect from a Florida State team with a lot of continuity, and Jordan Travis here at quarterback playing phenomenal football for them. Score of the game, like I said before, is 27-13 against the Miami Hurricanes, so I'm going to go ahead and cover both Miami and Florida State here together. There's 10 minutes 54 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Miami has the ball at the 25 right now, taking over possession. They run the ball off left guard, but can't get anywhere. Florida State's been getting away with a little bit of help from the referees, to say, the least, but then what do you expect when you rank 4th in the country? Miami just didn't come to ball today. They started out pretty strong, had 13-10 lead early in the third quarter before Florida State just went on this, 17 unanswered scoring, continuum. Excuse my apologies, guys, there. Miami arriving in this game at a 6-3 record with some struggles here earlier in the season, a couple of upset losses they've had, and I don't think they've ever really been able to recover. Florida State Miami is usually always a fought-out game, but whichever team is just the better team usually pulls away, in the third, and that's kind of what's happened here, and Florida State has been doing that with the suffocating defense in the second half of this ball game. It doesn't look like Miami's going to score anytime soon as we move into third down and 10. Again, still at the 25. Florida State gets off the field here. This game's over. over. No doubt about it. They're going to start with great field position. I think that Miami's in a position where they have no choice but to, they're going to have to throw the ball. I wouldn't be surprised to see a screen off of left guard, or off of right guard here. If that's the case, I'll tell you that's what's going on. But in the meantime, let's talk about how well Florida State has been doing. Florida State has been able to adapt and overcome every situation that they faced throughout the season. They haven't played from behind very often, but when they have, they've done very well. Just saw a stat on Miami's offense that said in the first half they converted 3 of 7 on third down. They've converted none of the third downs in the second half, and that trend continues as the quarterback Van Dyke has hit the referee, the umpire, actually, with the football. Sorry, Van Dyke, he's not an eligible receiver. Referee definitely screwed. They definitely screwed Miami right there, because that ball most likely would have been caught for a first down. But hey, it's just the kind of night that they've been dealing with. 4th and 10 Miami as they get ready to punt the ball over to Florida State, who's going to take over with great field position. I just saw Michigan State, or obviously not Michigan State, but Michigan was able to beat Penn State. Heartbreaking for me. I'm a huge Penn State guy. Sad face, guys. So, Michigan looks like they're going to continue on their march to a national championship, or attempt to continue on to their march of a national championship. And the reason why I mention that, guys, is because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be looking at Jim Harbaugh at head coach if Todd Bowles gets let go, which is what it's looking like this year. So just wanted to point that out, something I forgot to mention earlier. But getting back to what's going on with Florida State, Miami, guys, Florida State's going to win this game. If they score one more touchdown, the game's already over for the most part. Again, 27-13 ball game, but Florida State's in full command right now. Like I said, they've been playing this way all year. A couple of games have been close early on in the second half. They tend to pull away, showing their resiliency and that they're a great second half team. Again, this is what you expect from a team like Florida State, again, with a lot of continuity and a great defense. With that being said, Florida State's looking really, really good as we get ready to head into these final 2 weeks of the season. They play Florida in the final week of the season. Their next game is going to be against North Alabama. So obviously they're going to finish this season undefeated, and they may finish this season even higher than rank 4. This is a good team for a possible lock at a national championship. If Georgia continues to play that they play, I wouldn't be surprised to see Georgia and Florida State for a national title, as I believe Florida State would be one of the few teams in the country that can truly beat Georgia. Michigan's not going to get it done, guys. I don't care if you like Michigan or not. Georgia is a different animal, okay? Michigan has a lot of great players on their team. Great head coach. They're not beating Georgia. It's not happening, guys. You can believe it all you want. It's not happening. Ohio State, that's a possibility. I give Ohio State a better chance just due to the fact that Georgia has struggled against tremendous receivers. Not just good receivers, tremendous receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. is just that. He is his old man's son, as I am my old man's son. And let me tell you, the kid is special. Okay? So, keep on going, guys. Dad, good mention right there. Shout out to Washington. They're currently leading Utah 35-28 with 10 minutes left in the ball game. Penix Jr. is looking phenomenal. 22 of 40, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns. And guys, that's a big deal because he is from my alma mater. He was a Tampa Bay Titan back here at TBT. He played quarterback, led us into the playoffs actually once while he was there at quarter, and did very well for himself. I'm glad to see him doing well at Washington. Keep up the good work there and keep on representing Tampa Bay. They'll remember the Titans. Now, Miami on the other side, not looking so good. All right, they arrived in this game, like I said, 6-3. In the next 2 weeks, they're going to be 6-5. Okay. Now, we're pretty sure they weren't going to beat Florida State, but guys, they play Louisville next. That's 11th ranked, 9-1 Louisville, to be exact. These guys are absolutely monstrous right now. They're looking good on both sides of the ball as Louisville. As we were talking about Lamar Jackson earlier, this is actually where he played college football at, and this team has not looked this good since he was at quarterback. So congratulations to Louisville for playing really good football right now. I look forward to seeing how this game goes, but odds are Louisville's going to thump Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 41-20 ball game there. Especially knowing that Miami doesn't play well after a loss. Okay? They don't. They struggle. And that's exactly what's happening here as Florida State hands the ball off right guard for no gain. So, I'll keep giving you guys updates to this Florida State-Miami ball game as it continues. Like I said, 9 minutes, 50 seconds left in the ball game. So odds are I'll be able to walk you guys through the rest of this game. Odds are, if not, don't worry. We know who's going to win the game, guys. Now, the Canes season, no doubtably, will be over. They will have a ball game, so good for them. They made it to 6 wins, so they'll get a ball game. It won't be a high ball game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Gators get one more win this season that they play against the Gators. Miami versus Florida would be a great who's worse ball game here in Florida. So, that just looking forward to seeing if something like that was to take place. It'd be super ironic to have two teams from Florida with 6 wins apiece playing against them. Lee Corso seems to have thought that the Gators are going to upset LSU today. I know Lee Corso is getting up there in age, but I love him, okay? I respect him, I revere him, I love college football game day, but guys, I just don't see how there's a way that LSU loses to Florida in this game, okay? Now, I'm saying that to say this, okay? I love my Florida Gators, okay? But they are currently the worst team in Florida, all right? And that's with Miami playing the way that they're playing. Okay, now Miami's next game, as I mentioned, is going to be against Louisville. If you're looking forward to watching that game's going to take place Saturday, November 16th. Time will be to be determined because obviously they're waiting to see what's going to happen here with the Miami-Florida State game. Odds are with Miami going to be losing this game, it's going to be a 12 o'clock ball game starting early. Guys, what in the blue hell is going on with UCF? UCF 45, Oklahoma State 3. That's ball game, guys, late in the fourth quarter. UCF with the biggest upset of the season so far. Nobody saw this coming from this UCF football team. Wow. Shout out to UCF for a big, big upset win against Oklahoma State, guys. Just had to put that out there because I saw it. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. Just hang with me, guys. I want to get you guys as much information as I possibly can. So congratulations to UCF, University of Central Florida, Golden Knights, baby. Congratulations to them. Florida State has now punted the ball back to Miami. 8 minutes, 33 seconds left to go in this ball game. Now, Miami is not out of this game. If they were to score very quickly, get another defensive stop here, maybe a turnover or something, they're right back in this ball game. Here's the problem. They're not playing like it, okay? They're just not playing like it. So that's what's going on there. As I mentioned, next game, Louisville for Florida State. Time to be determined. Odds are if they win this game, it's going to be a 12 o'clock start time. No need to make that a primetime game or anything like that. Because it's obviously going to look like Louisville's going to wash them, if that's the case. Noles next game, like I said before, against North Alabama. That game is going to be a wash. Saturday, November 18th, 6:30 p.m. Why is it 6:30 p.m.? I'm sure I don't know. But, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the score of that game is going to be like Florida State 70, North Alabama 10 or something like that. So be prepared for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the Gators. Now, the Gators, there's a lot more to talk about, but really a lot less to talk about at the same time. There's a lot more to talk about because this is probably, no, I can't even say the best 4-loss team in the country because Miami's about to go to 4-loss. The Florida Gators have a decent offense, okay? There's a lot of pieces. They need more continuity, all right? But we have a decent offense. The problem is realistically our defense, all right? And I'm going to give you a scale, for instance. We played against Arkansas, okay? Miami! He caught it in double coverage. Miami's going to score. What did I just say? If Miami can get a quick score, they're back in this ball game. Touchdown, Miami. Wow. Touchdown, Miami. 85-yard reception. Jacoby George in double coverage. What a thread of the needle by Van Dyke. Catching the ball between two defenders and skedaddling 85 for a game-breaking touchdown. Miami now one score behind Florida State, guys. Let's see what happens. 8 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Maybe Miami's not done, guys. Maybe those old Hurricanes got one more in them. That's giving me some chills, guys. Wow, Miami. Hey, I said it and it happened. Yeah, Dad, you know I do this for reference. Sometimes I put the goggles on, you can see a little bit. So, good job, Miami. I'm going to stay with this, guys. I'm going to keep on feeding you guys updates as we continue on. But back to Florida, okay? Florida played against a 2-6 Arkansas team last week, and we lost in overtime by a score of 39-36. What does that mean? Well, the offense put up 36 points. All right? The offense put up 36 points. Usually when the offense puts up 36 points, you're winning that ball game. Except for when your defense is terrible. And you know your defense is terrible because you gave up 39 points to a 2-6 ball club. All right, there's zero excuse for that. All right, so Florida, as much as I love my team and as much as I have faith in my team, if you're giving up 39 points to a 2-6 Arkansas team, okay, what exactly are you going to give up to a LSU football team that we see every year? Now, for those of you who know me, LSU is my favorite team in the West. Okay, now I'm a diehard Gator, there's no doubt about it. But if I'm not watching the Gators play, and you know I'm going to watch me some college football, who am I going to watch in the SEC West? The answer to that question is very simple. It's LSU. If not LSU, it's going to be Auburn. Okay, that's how it goes for me. All right. Everybody else may be different, but that's me. And I love LSU. I love the Tigers, all right? Now, with that being said, I've watched the Tigers a few times this year, and guess what? They have Jaden Daniels, a dual-threat quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. Jaden Daniels has this knack for getting knocked the F out every game. And what I mean knocked out, I mean like he takes a rough hit every game. The kid's not very good at avoiding contact, all right? Now, it kind of reminds me of Teddy Bridgewater a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he's going to get hit and he's going to hurt, all right? He's going to get hit hard. So, Florida's going to have to start fast, and they're going to have to lower the boom early, all right? If they can do that and ride a wave of continuity throughout this game that rhymes with making them go 3 and out, Florida wins this ball game. The problem is I just don't see them doing that against a dual-threat quarterback, a team coming in at 6-3, playing pretty good football to say the least. Yeah, they've had a few struggles, but look at who their losses are to, right? You know, some quality teams, including FSU. So, I think that LSU's going to win this ball game. I'm not exactly what the score is going to be. I'm not sure what the score is going to be, but I just don't know if the Gators are going to be able to make it to that 6th win of the season. If they don't make it to the 6th win of the season, you got to start asking questions like, will Billy Napier be here next year? I think he should be. I think his recruiting has been phenomenal. If you guys look at the recruiting class that he's been able to put together for the 2024 season, it's number 2 in the country, behind commits like DJ Lagway and a bunch of other phenomenal starters that will come in and take over this team next year. The problem is, if he gets another chance, which I believe he deserves another chance. I have to step back, okay, and I have to look at what he's dealing with, all right? He's dealing with a Dan Mullen team who's, let's just be honest, Dan sucked at recruiting. His recruiting was terrible, guys, all right? Billy has done phenomenal recruiting over the last 2 years, okay? Graham Mertz, Ricky Parcel, there's a lot of names to speak of. But real talk, guys. Real talk. He gets one more year. And yeah, he's going to have a rookie quarterback. But it's not going to matter. He's going to have to find success in the form of 2 losses or less next year. And if he doesn't, he's out. Y'all know how Florida is, a prestigious college, not to play at, but not just to play at, but to coach at as well. Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier, okay? Serious legends, all right? Serious legends. Fred Taylor, Emmitt Smith, Tim Tebow. All right, Percy Harvin. All right, big deal. We gotta start acting like it. And our defensive coordinator, he's gonna be out before Billy Napier is. Okay, he's gonna be out before it because this is terrible. This defense has been horrendous all year long. All right, that's my viewpoint on that. Like I said, LSU tonight. That's 18th ranked LSU coming in 6-3. Gators coming in at 5-4 tonight. 7:30's kickoff time, guys. Our show will be ending shortly before that. Get ready for that ball game. Go Gators, go Tigers. I love LSU as well, but I'm a diehard Gator, so I want my Gators to win. All right, and if they do win, well, we make the ball. At least we make a ball game, and that's all we can ask for, you know, here in Florida, guys. All right. Next game, next 2 games, and here's my sad face. All right. 16th ranked Missouri next week. 4th ranked Florida State the week after. All right. If we're going to win a game, it's got to be tonight. If we're going to become bowl eligible, it's got to be tonight or tomorrow night, because we're not beating Florida State. We're not. Good luck, Gators. Go Gators. Love you guys. Let's try and figure something out, all right? Let's try and figure something out, Gators. That's what's going on there. Let's go ahead and take our second break of the evening, guys. When we get back, we'll talk the last 3 topics we have for the evening. That'll be NBA, NHL, and then UFC Fight Night, or not UFC Fight Night, but 295 coming your way tonight, guys. My name is Corey Pools. I'm your host, and as always, this is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Keep it locked here. We'll be back in 2 minutes, fellas.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to Palm Tree Sports Radio, guys. My name is Corey Pools, your host. And as always, it's brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Guys, this game's getting really, really interesting. Florida State driving down the field, just crossed midfield. They're looking good on this drive. Let's see what they can do. In the meantime, between time, Missouri destroys Tennessee 37-7. I was watching that game a little bit earlier, and it didn't look good for Tennessee. So here's the first thing, guys. Missouri was getting a lot of help. There were a couple of roughing the passer penalties that they didn't call on Missouri's defensive line. They're playing kind of some dirty football, but hey, you came here to play a full contact sport. That's what you got to be prepared for. Missouri destroys Tennessee 37-7. That's 13 beating 14 or something closer. They're ranked next to each other. That's what I'm trying to say. Congratulations to Missouri. We see them next week. Hopefully the Gators can put a pounding on them. I mean, if they can't do it this week, I don't see how they'll be able to do it next week. But listen, we'll see what happens in the meantime, between time. Let's go ahead and move on over, though, as I will keep feeding you updates on this game with 6 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in the ball game. Like I said, 2nd and 6 for Florida State. They just crossed midfield after a 4-yard gain on first down via run off right guard. Guys, the Miami Heat, who we're going to talk about first. Well, listen, first things first. Miami and the Magic, they both have the same exact record. They're both 4-4 early on the season, so there's not a whole lot of demand this early on. We'll start to see these teams separate each other after about 15 games have been played. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to determine which one of these teams is better. I would go out on a limb and say that Orlando started off playing good basketball, and Miami is now the better team playing better basketball at this point in their stage. Early on, like I said, in the season, a lot to unravel here, so let's go ahead and unpack it. First things first, both teams coming in at 4-4. Let's talk Miami first. Miami's going to meet the Atlanta Hawks tonight, the 5-3 Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7:30 p.m. So if you're looking for some Miami basketball to watch, that's going to be the game as FSU goes off right guard for a loss of 1 as they move to 3rd down and 7. But like I said, Miami Heat, Hawks tonight, 7:30. If you're looking for some basketball to watch coming out of Florida, both games will be taking place. The Magic are already playing, but Miami's game, like I said, 7:30 start time. So there's a lot going on tonight, guys. A lot going on tonight. You're going to be flipping some channels. It's going to be more than 2 channels. That's all I can tell you right now. But the winners of 3 in a row, Miami Heat seem to be catching fire. They seem to be opening it up a little bit, which is kind of what you expect from a team with the continuity such as the Miami Heat. Oh my goodness, Miami sacks Jordan Travis backwards, loss of 8. They are now out. They cannot make field goal range, and now they will have to punt the ball back to Miami. Guys, I'm so sorry to be bouncing around, but guys, I got to keep it up with you. Miami's defensive line now with the 3rd huge sack with a 0 blitz in between A and B gaps to get to Jordan Travis, who just cannot get out of the way in time. These Miami linebackers have been blitzing their ass off all night. Good job, Miami, as they will get the ball back now. 4 minutes, 41 seconds to go. FSU 3 timeouts, Miami 2 timeouts, guys. Wow, 4th and 19. I said that was a loss of 8. I lied. That was a loss of 11. Wow. All right, Miami. Let's see what you guys can do. Fair catch taken at the 12-yard line for Miami as they get ready to take advantage of a tremendous defensive stop after a starting to be promising drive by Florida State, guys. Now then, back to the Miami Heat. Catching fire, are they? Like I said, winners of 3 in a row. They seem to be catching their stride. This is kind of what you expect. Eric Spoelstra, again, one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches to ever do it. In my mind, in my humble opinion, he's phenomenal, and he's been tremendous for Miami. Congratulations to Miami on the 3 in a row. Let's see if they can make it 4 in a row against the Hawks tonight. Should be a good game, high-scoring game. They've done it behind better offense than defense. They got to get better on the defensive side of the board, does Miami, but we'll see what happens in the meantime, between time. Next game is going to be against the Spurs. That game will be interesting. Rookie Victor Wembanyama playing. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Miami almost throws an interception at the 20-yard line, but gets away with it as defender slips down. Now then, Victor Wembanyama been playing tremendous basketball since his debut. The Spurs coming in with a 3-6 record. Look for Miami to try and confuse the young rookie. And, you know, the ball was tipped. Okay, so tip ball there. Okay. But look for the Miami Heat to try and confuse the rookie, take advantage of their speed instead of their size in this illustrious game that we call basketball. You know, you're going to win one or two things, either size or speed. On the defensive side of the ball, you're going to want to possess a little bit of both. Speed sometimes becomes more important when you're dealing with a bigger guy. You're going to want to outrun the Spurs in this ball game. As you know, Victor Wembanyama is going to get his touch. He's going to score. He's going to play some tremendous basketball. But if you guys can just keep the pressure on and just play, you know, a good, you know, solid basketball on offense, they should be able to outpace the Spurs and win that game. Miami goes, they throw the ball into the flat for a gain of 9 on second down, third down and 1. Kind of open up the playbook here because obviously you're in 4-down territory regardless of where you're at on the field. Unless you're feeling lucky today. Well, you know, I'm not going to say that actually. I'm going to say because they're just across their own 20 that they're not in 4-down territory with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Let's see what they're able to do here. 3rd down and 1, determining what's going to take place. Probably a short pass out into the flat on the right-hand side is what they're going to shoot with. A screen pass wouldn't be a bad idea here either for that matter, but we'll see what happens as FSU's bringing pressure. They decide to draw the ball, and that was not the answer. FSU stops Miami short for a loss of half a yard, for a loss of a yard. 4th down, Miami, big choice here. We're going to have to see what they decide to do. It looks like they're keeping their offense on the field. I don't know about this call, guys. I don't know. They definitely should have passed it here on 3rd and 1. That's what's going on with the Miami Heat, though, guys. Like I said, next game against the Spurs, get ready for that. But tonight's game, 7:30 start time, along with a bunch of other things like the Gator game as well. And also UFC 295 is going to be tonight. Miami's going to go for it here on 4th and 2. I guess they kind of have no choice. They're 5 or 11 on 4th down this year. 46% conversion rate. Not a bad conversion rate, but, guys, they're going to need some serious help. Timeout. Knowles? Timeout Miami. That's not good. That was a complete waste, guys. That was a complete waste. Well, hey, I guess we'll see what happens. The Magic, guys. The Orlando Magic, also 4-4 on the season. They will be hosting the also 5-3 Milwaukee Bucks tonight. That game's going to take place at 6 p.m., guys. The Magic they're not doing as well right now as the Heat are. They've lost 2 in a row. They're not looking as good as they did to start the season. We're going to have to wait and see what happens against a really hot Milwaukee Bucks team. This team is probably the best team in the East this season. On paper, at least, they're definitely the best team. So we'll have to wait and see what transpires there. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing phenomenal basketball, looking like another MVP to start the season. We'll see what happens. It takes place this game tonight. Like I said, 6 p.m. start time. Orlando Magic, Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to rock with Milwaukee on this one. Orlando on a 2-game skid. They're going to have to find something to dig deep and hold on to. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to play tremendous defense. They're going to have to find a way to shut down either Damian Lillard or Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is, like I said, playing MVP level at this time. Next game for the Magic will be against the Nets. That's the 5-4 Nets. That game will take place Tuesday, November 14th, 7:30 p.m. So another 7:30 p.m. start time on the East. If you want to watch some Orlando Magic basketball, that would be a much better game to watch. This game has a lot more continuity than the Bucks game will because, like I said, Bucks hosting a MVP caliber offensive talent and defensive stud muffin in Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, you know, we'll see what happens as Miami decides to Tyler Van Dyke's going to scramble for it. I don't know if he got there. Ref says he got there. Ref is standing right at the marker, but guys, there's a bigger development. Tyler Van Dyke is on the ground and he is in pain. He is kicking his legs and he is not moving his upper body. Okay, not Van Dyke, my apologies. Van Dyke is actually who's coming into the game now that 17 is injured. I apologize, I've been saying this the whole time. 17's hurt, guys. You guys are going to have to give me a moment here so I can tell you what's going on. But 17 is hurt, and I need a replay here, and my TV just froze. All right, let's see if we can bring this back up. But he scrambles off left guard, extends the ball, and upon the extension of the ball, he got smashed by 2 Florida State defenders. I missed the replay. I'll see if they give us another replay to determine what happened here, but what a time for the starting quarterback for Miami to go down. It's looking like Tyler Van Dyke is now going to come back into the game and see if he can help lead this team to a score, because they will need it immediately. I'll give you guys an update once I see another. Let's see. Here we go. Replay. Let's see. So Tyler Van Dyke is scrambling off left guard, headed towards the sideline. As he heads to the sideline, he extends the ball, but as he extends the ball, so he gets completely spun, but on the ground. So he's being tackled at the ankle, and as he's being tackled at the ankle, he gets run over by a Florida State guy. So he's in trouble. He's going away on a stretcher, it looks like, guys. This looks to be some type of back or neck injury. You guys, you're going to have to pray for 17. This doesn't look like a good injury at all. He definitely got messed up here on this play. So Miami's future in question now with 17 getting out of the game. Like I said, Tyler Van Dyke, the original starter for Miami's football team, now coming back into this game. We'll see what happens here. I hope that 17 is going to be okay. Very nasty looking injury, guys. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Determine for yourself what you guys think took place. He was moving his lower body, so no paralyzation, it doesn't seem, but definitely in a lot of pain here. And like I said, going away on a stretcher. I've said what I've had to say so far about the NBA, guys. Heat on catching fire. Orlando Magic not playing very good basketball at the minute, behind a 2-game losing streak. So let's see if they can change that tonight against the Bucks. Let's go ahead and move on over to the last 2 parts of the segment, guys. As you can see, my tone has dropped a little bit because injuries like this are very, very scary, and I'm just hoping for the best for 17. We will see what happens. I'll give you guys an update, but they've since pulled the stretcher out, and he's going to be headed to the hospital, guys. NHL news, okay? Bolts coming into this game tonight, hosting the Hurricanes. Tonight, that game started 3 minutes ago. The Bolts coming in with 6-4-4 record, that's 6 wins, 4 losses, 4 ties. Hurricanes coming in 8-6, playing relatively good hockey at the moment. The Bolts are 2-2 in the last 4 games, so up and down. This happens with the Bolts at every stage of every season for us. I'm not exactly sure what to expect for this game. These are 2 pretty evenly matched teams. The last time these teams hooked it up, the Bolts were able to come away with a win, so we'll be able to see if they can replicate that tonight. Again, start time was 7 p.m., so that game just started if you guys are looking to watch Bolts hockey. But again, there's so many things to watch for tonight. Like I said, 2-2 in the last 4. Hopefully they can make it 3-2 with a win here today. Tonight, I should say. Next game is going to be against the Blues. That team is also a team that's playing similar hockey to us with a 6-5-1 record, 6 wins, 5 losses, 1 tie. That game will come in the form of a Tuesday night game, hockey game on November 14th, 8 p.m. Guys, if you're wanting to see some hockey down here in the South, look no further than the Bolts. 2-2, like I said, but we're gonna get better. You guys know that we're gonna get better. We're a lot better than what our record says, and I think we'll continue to show that as the season continues to move on and we make our march back to the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, which I hope we can find ourselves in one more time. Good luck, Bolts. We love you guys down here. Keep playing. Keep showing that we play hockey down here in the South, and we play really outstanding, good hockey. Obviously, I'm aware of the situation with the young hockey player who passed away due to the injury that he received. And, I just pray for safety when it comes to that game. Such a scary thing in the world that we live in today, especially when you experience something like that. And I just pray for him. I pray for his family, in the loss that they've experienced. Hopefully this never happens again. It's such a scary thing, especially when you love the sport, okay? Now then, probably the most exciting thing coming your way this evening, all right? UFC 295 comes to you by way of Jiri Prochazka, the former light heavyweight champion, taking on Alex Pereira or Pineda, depending on how you want to say his name. Either is correct. He is the former middleweight champion of the world. He took the crown from Israel Adesanya, who regained it in arguably the greatest finish in UFC history, the greatest comeback in UFC history. 17 is sitting up on he gives us a wave, so he is headed on the cart over to the back, and eventually will be headed to the hospital. Hopefully 17 is going to be okay, but he's really, really hurt. He's really hurt. He's in a lot of pain. I think there's some tears flowing. So, hats off to you, 17. Get better, my man. Get better, ASAP. Now then, okay, UFC 295. You guys know I love martial arts. You know it's my practice. This fight card is absolutely phenomenal, guys. If you're looking for a card to pick up, tonight is the night. You have the Sabudai versus the Archer. Yuri Prochazka coming in with a 29-3-1 record. Former light heavyweight champion of the world, taking on Alex Pineda, former 2-division Glory kickboxing champion and former UFC middleweight champion with an 8-2 record. I do not know who's going to win this fight, guys. Normally I'm pretty good at predicting fights. I don't know. If Alex catches Yuri, Alex wins. If Yuri catches Alex, Yuri wins. These are two guys with phenomenal striking. Yuri is a better, well-rounded fighter. I would not be surprised to see Yuri take this fight to the ground. He kind of walks closer around to that 205 mark than Alex Pineda does. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex is able to connect early, and if he's able to do that, that could potentially be a big issue for Yuri, because nobody feels Alex's power and is the same afterwards. Okay, nobody. All right. With that being said, the co-main event is going to be for number 1 contender status to find out who's going to fight John Jones next. That's going to come by way of Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. This is another fight that I'm not really sure. I can't really pick a winner. I'd love for Tom Aspinall to win. I'm a huge Tom Aspinall fan, especially since he's come back from injury. He looked absolutely phenomenal his last fight, first round knockout to return to form, and he looks great. This guy has the best feet, okay, in the heavyweight division. There's no doubt about it. I look forward to seeing him fight every time he does, but I'm going to be very nervous for this fight night, or this fight card, I should say, tonight. A lot of fighters that I like are fighting tonight, and that includes Tom Aspinall. I would love to see Tom Aspinall win, but Sergey Pavlovich has the touch of death. All right, was it 5 out of 6 of his last fights first round knockout? Okay, touch of death. Guy's absolutely terrifying. He's a very scary guy. If he catches you, it's a good night. Doesn't really matter who you are. Now, with that being said, let's move on over to the ladies. Jessica Andrade is going to be taking on Mackenzie Dern. Jessica Andrade, a legend in the UFC fight game, but unfortunately, she's going against a very hot Mackenzie Dern. This chick is on fire. I would not be surprised, and I'm going to rock with what a catch to convert 3rd down and 12 by Miami as they move into 1st and 10, approaching midfield. Wow. This Miami team is not going away, guys. You could have called pass interference there, but the receiver just playing tremendous football there at the top of the route. 1st down and 10 as Miami has the ball now at the 34-yard line, and they look to push the ball down the field. 1 minute, 16 seconds left to go on the clock. They're going to have to continue this. Another back shoulder fade. They're now at midfield, and midfield goes Miami. They stopped the play a little bit early, I think, probably to help Miami a little bit more. Clock starts for the 1st down, but they're going to continue moving down the field. Same play twice, worked both times. Good job, Miami. Don't go back to it again, okay? Do not go back to it again. It will be a pick 6. The safety will be cheating over the top. Don't be surprised. If you want to do it, pump it that way. Send it to the post on the opposite side of the field. Let's see. Ball knocked down. Incomplete pass on 1st down. 58 seconds left to go, guys. Now, back to the UFC 295 fight card. Mackenzie Dern is on fire. I'm going to go with her closing the show out in a decision victory against Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade, a legend in the women's division, legend in the UFC, but she's not going to go away. You're not. I don't think you're knocking out Jessica Andrade. I think you're going to have to win a tight decision. Mackenzie Dern takes home a decision victory and a possible fight of the night candidate if either of the 2 main events don't make it, or make it the 3 and 5 rounds respectively that they will be fighting. And lastly, guys, I want to talk about my UFC crush. That should be pass interference. That should be defensive pass interference. Okay, Florida State getting some home cooking, you guys. That should have definitely been offensive pass or defensive pass interference. My UFC crush, my UFC baby mama, if you will, Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci will be competing tonight. Tabitha Ricci is my favorite female UFC fighter. Currently on the card, currently in the UFC. I'm a huge fan of her. She's a very beautiful woman from South Brazil, and if you haven't seen her fight, go watch her. She's absolutely phenomenal inside the octagon, and again, I can't stress this out, looks amazing. Can't wait to see her fight. She's going to be fighting Luptis Godinez. I'm sorry, that's a tough name to pronounce there, but I want to put that on there because obviously with the rise in popularity between Tabitha Ricci and Lupus, who's coming in at I believe it is 11-1 record. Tabitha's record is 9-1, so both of these women on the rise, looking good in their UFC careers. But you guys already know who I'm rocking with. I'm going to have to rock with my baby, Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci. I can't wait to see that fight take place. She looked great on the scale. She looked great at the face-to-face, and whenever she has that look on her face, you know she's coming in for a win. So, Tabitha, bring it home, baby. We're looking forward to see you get your win in tonight, and can't wait to see how the rest of this card shapes up. Tremendous card. Like I said, if you guys are looking for a great fight night to order, this is going to be it. UFC 295. I can't wait to come back to you guys, talk to you about what happened next week. And let's go ahead and get ready to close the show, guys, because, it's about that time. I know I've been talking to you guys for a lot longer than normal, but hey, was excited to bring you guys this information. A lot to watch tonight. Basketball, hockey, college football, and UFC 295, guys. You can't beat it. Stacked night for sports. What a time it is to be a sports fan. The last update I'll give you guys right now is 4th and 10. Miami at midfield. They need to convert this game or convert this first down, or the game is over. Be turnover on downs. I'm going to go ahead and watch this play and give you the update. They have one timeout. Florida State took their first timeout to get their defensive sub packages in. Make sure they have the best players on the field. So let's see. We have a 4-receiver setup here. 3 receivers off to the right side. 1 receiver off to the left. Running back flanking Tyler Van Dyke, who's in the gun at the moment. He takes the snap. He's looking right side. Scrambling to extend the play. Scrambling. Sends the ball over the middle of the field, intercepted. Florida State wins this ball game, as they will now move into an undefeated season, as they will wrap up these 2 final games against North Alabama and my University of Florida Gators. Intercepted, 40 seconds to go. Victory formation now assumed by Florida State. Congratulations on a tough, gutsy win by Florida State, and we look forward to seeing how they play next week with these next 2 weeks. Unfortunately, Tyler Van Dyke now worsens his quarterback QBR with now 16 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. You know what they tell you. Never throw the football off the back foot over the middle of the field. It's always guaranteed to not be a good throw at that point. He should have just checked it down to the guy that was in front of him. Unfortunately, he did not do that. Interception. Florida State wins them the ball game. Congratulations, Florida State. That's it for me, guys. I've been Corey Pools, your host for Palm Tree Sports Radio. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I know I've been, talking to you guys for a while tonight, but I hope and look forward to talking to you guys next week. Hopefully you come back and you join us. Same time, same place, again, here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. And just some words of wisdom to those. Spend time with your family. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Really take the time to smell the flowers, all right? Like I said, spend time with your family. We're in November. It's that time of the season, right? I look forward to seeing my family members today and tomorrow. I hope you guys do the same. I pray for you guys. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal work week as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. I pray for some colder weather because, guys, it's approaching the middle of November and it's 90 degrees outside. So, hey, it's crazy down here in Florida, but that's what we're here for. So, I look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, same place. Thank you so much for joining me here on Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name has been Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, it's brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll see you same time, same place next week, you guys. Peace.